1,300 people jumped on their bikes for a 65-mile trip to Atlantic City. They crossed the Ben Franklin Bridge early this morning. The 24th annual Tour de Shore raises money for the Irish Pub's Children's Foundation, as well as Philadelphia Police Charities for Kids.
It's a sight so big and powerful, even the commissioner of the Philadelphia Police Department was impressed when he saw it.
This is very, very impressive.
You know, I know Lance Armstrong and his crew are cycling around in France doing some little Tour de France thing, but there is something much better going on here in Philadelphia.
It's a midsummer tradition, a benefit bike ride to the shore.
Some 1,400 bicyclists are all headed to Atlantic City at this hour for the 24th annual Tour de Shore bike ride. Once in Atlantic City, these riders will conclude the entire event with a huge party.
We have a proud history of fundraising, this being our premier fundraiser.
23 years ago, about 25 guys rode to Atlantic City on their bikes, and that was the beginning.
It's like the mob. Once you're in this thing, it's very hard to get out.
Here we go! At that time of the morning, the road is yours. It's like nothing you could ever do on a normal day in the city of Philadelphia.
The Ben Franklin Bridge has been closed for the 24th annual Tour de Shore.
In 2011, we had over 1,400 riders. We had 130 motivated volunteers, and in one day, we raised over $400,000 for these terrific charities.
We go over the Ben Franklin Bridge, all's fine, all's well with the world. And then you're plodding through Camden, New Jersey, around mile 8, and you're starting to feel a little uncomfortable, and you say, what in God's name am I doing here? I have another 60 miles to go.
We've gotten people who haven't been on bikes since they were about 10 years old to get onto a bike. And you know what? It's good for them, it's good for the cause, it's good for everybody involved.
Riders pay $150 to ride. They can use our website, send emails out to their friends, and get their friends to sponsor them.
You reach out to family and friends and say, hey, if I make it 65 miles, how about throwing me 10 bucks? And everybody does it.
We have 4 rest stops along the way to Atlantic City, approximately every 15 miles. We have roving vehicles that move up and down the route. We have bike lines. They come along, they fix your flats, and there's a truck that follows the last rider. So if you just decide you've had enough, you put your bike on the back, and we'll get you down to the next rest stop where you can continue, or we'll take you all the way to Atlantic City.
The ride takes roughly 4.5 to 5 hours. It ends in Atlantic City along the boardwalk.
We push that it is a ride so that everybody knows that they are, it's doable. Everybody can ride in it. You definitely have your racers, but we don't actually time it.
So you see that whole spectrum of the serious rider and the casual rider who's doing it just to raise money.
I do it because it's for a good cause.
We can use every penny that we get, and it goes directly towards the kids.
Risa Vetri-Furman, the Montgomery County District Attorney, is riding on this year's largest team. It's her 3rd year.
What it evolved into is something more meaningful than I could have ever imagined.
Danny was a police officer who was 25 years old, who was murdered on December 9th, 1981 by a very violent man. I also was 25 years old when he was murdered.
In the wee hours of the morning, when everybody else is home, safe in their bed, police officers in Philadelphia are patrolling the streets, making sure the streets are safe. Sometimes giving up their life, in the case of Danny Faulkner, 29 years ago. And so being a police officer in Philadelphia is an honorable profession. It's got a great tradition, but like every other major city, it's also very dangerous.
It's still very emotional when I come back here and see how much support the city of Philadelphia has had for me and for Danny. Unfortunately, we've had too many officers killed in years past.
Police officers put their lives on the line to make sure that we're safe. It's the least that we can do to make sure that when something happens to one of them, that we're making sure their families are protected, their children are protected, and the rest of the police community is going to be taken care of.
The mile markers were added as another way to honor the fallen police officers. Early in the ride, each and every mile, you're seeing a different police officer that gave the ultimate sacrifice. A lot of people stop and say a prayer and say thank you.
I got about 3/4 of the way, and I was like, I had enough. Your back's hurting, your butt's hurting, and you just want to get off the bike. But the camaraderie kicked in.
The hardest part for me is that stretch of about 12 miles in between the second to last and the last rest stop. And then the last rest stop comes and you think you're home free and you see the skyline of Atlantic City, but you're not. You're still a bit of a distance away.
I would say right around 30 is when I said, oh, do I need to be here? What am I doing? Am I going to make this? And then eventually get to that place at the last rest stop when you're about 10 miles away. And I think most of us say, all right, I can do this. I'm going to make it today.
My wrist and my balls are killing me.
It's hard to believe that in 2012 it'll be the 25th annual Irish Pub Tour de Shore, and the most amazing thing is we expect to hit the $2 million mark of money raised in this charity over those years. And when you stop to think about all the different charities that are helped out by the Irish Pub Tour de Shore, you think about the Police Athletic League, the South Jersey Fraternal Order of Police, the Daniel Faulkner Education Fund, and even the Atlantic City Boys and Girls Club benefited from the money that we raised on that day.
Last year, I think 22 kegs of beer were consumed, along with 1,000 hot dogs, 1,000 hamburgers.
Everybody has been anticipating having this party since the last time we had it last year.
The Irish Pub Tour de Shore is Philadelphia, and you need to be a part of it. And if you want to be in 2012, join us on Sunday, July 29th, as we do it all over again. Get involved, and I promise you, it'll be one of the best days of the summer.
You'll never forget it. You'll feel great about yourself when it's over. And I think for sponsors, the same applies.
It's just an incredibly exciting day, and it really makes you feel like you're a part of something special.
I think everyone should get out there and ride.
Sign up immediately